I'm about to start this timer. Frick, yeah, bro.
Can I talk? Word. Oh my god, I can. I see myself on the YouTube. I like this.
You can see my screen? I bet, dude. Hey, thanks for joining in, everybody. I'm going to start here in like 2 minutes, 40 seconds, just to give the other people some time to hop on here. So we're going to go. What's up, guys? Going to be starting here in 1 minute or, 45 seconds. We're starting soon. Just want to give the other people some time to hop on. All right, there we go. I'm going to turn on my video here. Welcome everybody to the Leverage Your Credit for Success webinar. I absolutely love doing these because they're fun to do. So let's get right into it. Like I said, and we got Lakeith. My guy Lakeith is joining in right now. Perfect timing. So like I said, this is the Leverage Your Credit for Success webinar. Learn how to think like a bank so you can be your own bank. Now, a lot of you might be clients of mine for Improve You, where I've actually been walking you through the funding process or helping you build your credit or educating you maybe on some of the reasons why you might need to go through credit repair. But this webinar is essentially like showing you why getting funding is so lucrative, all the different reasons, all the different things you can use it for, and some of the lesser known aspects of funding that once you do know it, it becomes, life is not the same. You know, I have this quote that I like to say, honestly, I'm blanking on the quote. I made it up like a couple months ago, but it's like, once you know you can do more, it's hard to do less. That's what it is. When you know you can do more, it's hard to do less. And when you know about this information, it is hard to not want to go do it, because this isn't like the means to it. Well, this is simply a means to an end, right? Like, let's say you have your business or you have your passive income stream. This is a way to amplify the success of that business venture or passive income stream, whether it's real estate, whether it's, trading or stuff like that. We're going to get into it. So who am I, right? My name is Andrew Golden, and I started my entrepreneurial journey in 2019, literally like 4 years ago. And I found out that you can make money using this thing right here. You can use your phone to make money. And when I found that out, my brain exploded with possibility, because I was like, yo, what the heck? And I found out about crypto, Forex, stocks, everything about the world of trading. And it really opened my eyes to the fact that, like, okay, I've never felt okay in a job. I've never felt like, getting a career was super attractive to me. It was just never that, and once I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I could never think the same. I was like, okay, I'm not going to be rich by going and getting a job and starting this career and going to college and everything. I'm young. I've got opportunity. So let's try to do this. Right. And so I was doing trading for super long story short, I ended up finding, honestly, like accidentally finding the world of funding, because me and some partners were helping some people get into a passive income vehicle that costed $30,000 to do. And we were like, hold on, man, hold on. $30,000 is way too expensive for normal people. Okay. That's like, we can't be trying to help normal people over here saying, hey, but it costs 30,000. Like, that's not really cool. Nobody really likes to hear that. So we wanted to provide a solution, right? And so we started networking around, and we ended up coming across this company called Improve You. And they were like, this guy Trey in Improve You, who was like, hey, instead of starting people out with $500 or they just can't do it, why not start them out with a $50,000 business line of credit? And we were like, yo, that's actually really smart. How do we do that? And so we just started sending them referrals, like, doing the affiliate system and everything, giving them some business. And, it just really ended up making me fascinated with this whole world of credit and funding. And I realized that all this time, I'd been trying to do Forex, crypto, stocks, and it's fun. It's cool. You can be rich doing all that stuff, but it's risky. And inherently, I love teaching. Okay, that's just my passion. I love teaching people stuff. And when you teach people about trading, you have to have that conversation of how the inherent risk that comes along with trading. Not everyone's going to do trading. Not even everyone can even do trading, because it's not so much a skill-based thing, but it's an emotion-based thing. And so I realized that the reason why I even wanted to do trading in the first place was to unlock my ability to do more of what I'm passionate about every single day, to pursue my passions every day and do more of what I love every single day without conditions, unconditionally doing what I love. So that's why I'm so passionate about finances, because when it comes to credit and funding, when it comes to trading or whatever you're doing, it's not even about the money. It's not about the numbers. It's about the freedom that the execution of the knowledge grants you over time, right? This is not get rich quick. This is get rich easy and strategically. Credit and funding, it's not really fast, so to speak. It can be fast if your credit's positioned for success already. Like if you just, had perfect credit your whole life, then you can just get funding, right? But for most people, it's not the case. So, but is it easy? Yeah, it's really easy to do. You just put in some applications and get back 20, 30, 50K. And if you do that over and over again, and if you do it strategically by stacking those applications, you can get 100K, 150K, 200K in the span of a month. And we do this for people literally all the time. But I'm going to teach you how to do it today without my help, without anybody's help, giving you some pointers on where you can go, without having to, because I know a lot of people on here are in the process right now. And here's the thing, you can do this by yourself, but will you get 100K and 150K? Definitely not, because of the relationships that we've cultivated with the banks over years. Those are not things that can just be replicated very fast. So like it says here, I love to teach and show people the way, because the person who has not started doesn't even know how to start, right? And so, am I an ultra rich super millionaire with funding and credit? No, but also I'm 1 to 3 steps ahead of most people when it comes to this information. So I want to teach people how to get to the next level. Okay. The power of OPM. Okay. What the hell is OPM? Okay. OPM, and you hear Instagram dudes talking about this all day. OPM is other people's money. Okay. But Bandrew, isn't credit and debt bad? Well, not exactly, because the difference between leveraged credit or investment debt and consumer debt is you're putting, instead of having your debt go into things that are going to be like a liability, like a car, you're freaking, buying stuff every day, and those little charges just add up on your credit cards, or, you bought a computer or something like that on your credit. You're using money that you don't actually have, right? Well, there's 2 ways to look at this, right? You can say, I'm using money that I don't have to dig a hole, right? I'm not in the business of digging holes, okay? I'm in the business of making people rich. And I don't look at it like that. When I say I'm using money that I don't have, I'm saying I borrow money, I invest money, I repay that money, and I repeat. Okay, that's literally how we do it. That is what we want to do. We want to look at smart things. We want to look at assets. Okay, when I'm looking at credit and funding, I'm not thinking about, going on vacation. I'm thinking about, all right, where's the next property that I can buy? I'm thinking about, okay, where are some businesses that are already moving and going that I can buy? Are there white label business opportunities? What kind of things I can invest in with this credit that are going to bring me a cash flow, that are going to be a cash flowing asset for me. So I don't have to start making more money. I can use the money that's not mine to create more money making opportunities for myself. And that alone should be able to pay for the money spent, right? That I'm using with the credit. So why is it really important for entrepreneurs? Well, faster growth equals more open doors. Like I said, this is not get rich quick, it's get rich easy. Okay. And when you allow yourself to access to more capital, things become a lot easier, way easier. Like scaling your business, so much easier than doing it broke or just doing it with your own money, right? Like it's just not the same. So it's going to open more doors for you. You're going to be able to hire more people, buy more equipment, do whatever you need to do for your business, right? A lot of business is very different. I speak to a lot of different people every single day about different business opportunities that they're trying to jump into. And they have realized this. They have realized that if they get the access to the money, they'll be able to make more moves. Okay. And rich people have used this method for centuries. People like JP Morgan Chase, the guy that started Chase, he's been doing this. Like he was like, yo, what if I can provide this to people instead of me having to go to other people? People like Donald Trump, people like all rich people, no matter how rich they actually, how rich they are, they're always going to try to leverage the power of finance, because why use your own money when you can use other people's money smartly or intelligently and take $100,000, put it into something that's going to make you money. And then now, once it's paid back, you just created $100,000 out of thin air, money that was not yours before, right? And what a lot of people don't know is that, okay, yeah, I've heard about loans, bro. I've heard about loans and credit cards. Boring. I don't care about your loans, Andrew. All right. See, a lot of people are uneducated about the actual possibilities. Okay. There is things that are open to everybody. Okay. It's in our ads. It's in, like, a lot of people talk about this to get people to come into their funding business. Right. And they make it seem like, oh yeah, we can get you 0% interest, $100,000. What you know about it, Well, everyone can actually go get 0% interest credit. They just don't know about it yet. So using 0% interest lines of credit or credit stacking to grow, not just loans. So the difference between, well, let me just explain. Like, I'm sure everybody on this call knows, you guys are all adults, right? Lines of credit or credit cards are, it's in the form of credit, not cash. Well, line of credit is actually in the form of cash that you have an access. It's a revolving line of cash, basically, and it has interest on it. You only pay back what you spend. With a loan, that's a lump sum of money that gets dropped in your account. You have to start paying it immediately, and it's got interest. Credit tends to have higher rates of interest, higher interest percentages. So loans can be a better option, but I don't prefer that, because I would rather pay back the money that I know I'm going to spend instead of just, like, dropping a loan in my bank account. So the difference between personal and business credit, pretty simple. Okay. So you have your personal score, your FICO 8 credit score. You can get it from Experian. You can get it from Credit Karma. We'll go and maybe into the differences on that. That's like a whole other rabbit hole. But essentially, like, your personal credit reflects your entire history of borrowing money over your entire life since you turned 18. Okay. Like, the second you got a credit card, that shows up on your credit profile, which is like your number, your credit score is just a number. Okay. A lot of people do not understand this concept, but it is just a number. That number is made up of data points. It's an average of these data points that are gotten from, like, okay, so what's their utilization like? Okay, how many open accounts do they have? And, like, what's the history on their credit? How many cards do they have versus loans? What are these details? Like, the banks are looking at these details. Okay. They're not really looking at your score. They're really not. And your score is just a lump sum of these average of data points, and that makes up your score. So, people come to me, they're like, dude, I got 680. Why did I get denied? Well, let me look at your credit. Oh, well, dude, you only have like one credit card with a $500 limit. Sure, you've made payments on time, but you don't have anything to show. The only reason it exists is to basically provide a history of you borrowing money in the past. Not like it's like this like thing to put on a trophy. It's just like, okay, like, it's to show how risky you are of a person to borrow money to, if that makes sense. Okay. If you have not borrowed money in the past, but you have a good score, doesn't mean anything. They're going to look at your score and be like, okay, great score, man, but where's the history? When have you borrowed money, so that we can gauge how risky you are? And they're like, $500. We don't trust you yet. They're not going to give you 5,000 or 10,000 or 20,000. They're going to give you 500 to see, because they're okay with losing 500 way more than they're okay with losing 20,000. So they're going to test you out first, and you can work your way up. But until you get your history right, it's not happening. With business credit, you can spend as much money as you want on your business credit, and the debt does not reflect over to your personal credit. There are some companies like Capital One, do not ever get business credit cards with Capital One. The reason for that is because the cards for your business show up on your personal profile, which is trash. You do not want that. You do not want that. You can go to Chase, Bank of America, Citizen, all these other banks, Navy Fed. They're not going to report your business debt over to your personal. Some companies do, though. So if you ever decide to go get funding on your own, you better be doing your due diligence on what companies are going to be doing that, because they will come and get you. It will suck. Okay. It will suck. You're going to let's say you do get 100K. You put that, you got that right, and you spend that. Now your personal credit score drops like a rock in a pool, right? Because, like, you just brought your utilization up like crazy. So The difference between personal and business, your business doesn't really matter. If you like failed at the business, you could file for bankruptcy and it wouldn't really affect your personal. Don't do it. If we get to the funding, you got to pay it back. You're screwed. Like they can come after you, but like it's not going to affect your personal credit. Just like if you didn't pay back your personal credit and that screwed you. That it will screw you. If you get bankruptcy, good luck getting credit after that. So credit myths busted. All right. We're busting the myths. Myth busters. All right. Closing card. The first myth is closing cards is good for my score. I don't know who said that. I just looked it up on Google. Credit myths. That is not true. Not true. Okay. Closing cards. I think the myth more is that closing cards are like going to be bad for your score, which is true. But a lot of people don't even know why closing cards is bad for your score. Okay. There's two reasons why closing credit cards will drop your score or can drop your score. Okay. People are like, well, the less credit that I'm using, the better my score will be, right? Well, wrong, actually. Like if you have a higher limit, overall limit, like let's say you have a card that's 10,000 and it's 5 years old and you're like, I don't even use that thing anymore. I'm just going to close it out. Well, now when you close that out, your overall limit's going to drop 10,000 and you're going to remove 5 years of age off of your credit history, which is not, you just erased a bunch of work that you did basically. Now like you have to start over. So like keep all the cards. Do not get credit that you do not intend to use, right? So get cards and just attach your bills to them. Okay, put a bill, one bill here, one bill there, one bill there, and put it on auto pay. Now you don't have to worry about it. Okay, but like that's the reason why closing cards is bad for your score. The actual reason is because it drops the amount of credit that you have and it drops the age. Now if you want to close cards, you can do this. Let's say that you have Chase and you have a great relationship with Chase. You have 3 cards at Chase. Okay. What you can do to lower the amount of open accounts, which I don't really know why you would, unless you have like 50 open accounts, there's not really too much of a reason to do this, but you can do this. This is kind of a hack. Okay. So you can call Chase. Let's say you've got one card 5,000, one card 5,000, one card 10,000. Okay. The first 2 have like a 2-year history, but the other one's got like a 10-year history. And you're like, okay, well, let's think about this, right? You can call Chase and you can be like, hey, I would like to merge all of my credit cards I would like to merge the youngest ones into the oldest one. And what they'll do is they'll say, okay, cool. And they'll take those 2 cards, merge it into the oldest card. So now your other card just has 10 years on it, but the history, the limit on the card was going to go up 10,000 because they were 2 $5,000 limits. You get that added to this one card. Now you have one $20,000 card instead of 3 cards that are separate, 10, 5, 5. You just have one 20,000 now. There you go. Like that. That's something you could do. People do it all the time. It's just if you don't want to keep track, right? If you don't want to keep track of all these damn cards, right? So the second myth, which is an absolute joke, my score will be good if I don't have any credit card debt. Well, you see here. All right, like don't listen to these type of people. Okay, like don't listen to people who are saying that if you don't have debt, your score is just going to be like all jumping all over the place. Okay, like if you're not using your cards, like I said before, you don't have history. They don't know if you actually have been good. Let's say you have 10 credit cards, but you just never use them. Well, that's pointless. Like you're not using one of the most amazing assets that you have in your arsenal. Okay. One little secret here is like, you should not actually pay off all of your credit cards all the way every time. Do not pay your cards all the way. Okay. Leave a balance on all your cards. You might be like, bro, shut up. You're telling me to get interest? Yes, I'm telling you to get interest. Why am I telling you to get interest? Okay. When you show your lenders that they can make money off of you, bro, and you keep that consistent for 3 months, 6 months, they're going to call you and be like, hey, we just increased your card $20,000. You're welcome. What? Why did they do that? Well, it's because you've been keeping a small balance of like, let's say you've got $1,000 card. Okay. You don't want to spend more than 30% of the limit on that card. If you keep it at like 70% all the time, what I just told you is not going to happen. You need to keep it. You want to keep a balance on there that's under 20% utilization. That's the best. 30% is like the minimum. I got a question here. I'm actually going to save all the questions for the end. But if you keep all of your cards under 20%, then they'll be like, oh, well, he's like using it and we're making interest on him, but it's not like too much. We're not nervous about this. All right, cool. We're going to bump you up, and they'll bump you up all the time. Actually, I'm just looking at this, so I'll just do it. If you merge the accounts, would the account still have a long age history, or would it be considered a new account? It will keep the age history. So if it was at 10 years, then you will merge that. It's not like your age is going to transfer from the two youngest cards. It's just you're going to move the age of those two cards onto your oldest card. You want to make sure, because they'll do it the opposite way too. If you don't know what you're talking about, you could accidentally, move your 10-year card onto your 2-year card, and they'll do it for you. And that would not be fun. So you want to make sure you know what you're talking about when you're talking to them. But yeah, it will be the same card, same history, and it'll just merge the limits. Okay. So yeah, the whole credit card debt thing. Yeah, you can actually have more credit limits over time if you keep your debt small. My income, third myth, my income affects my score. Wrong. They don't care how much money you're making. They do when you're applying, but it doesn't affect your credit score at all. Fourth myth, hard inquiries impact your score for 2 years. False. Hard inquiries only affect your ability to lend, and they only affect your score for 6 months. Once the 6 months is up, your score, you might just randomly see it go up. And also the lenders aren't going to be hounding you when they see this. So don't worry about your old hard inquiries. A lot of people have them from like 2020. I'm looking at a lot of credit reports lately, and people are like, they've got so many credit requests from 2020. We all know what happened in 2020. So they're like, oh, dude, I got a ton of inquiries, bro. Like, sorry. And I'm like, nah, dude, it's all good. Don't worry about it. Okay. Fifth myth, bankruptcy cannot be removed. Wrong. We can remove that. It's not a fast process. It could be like a year, but you can remove your bankruptcy. Yeah, you can do that. Basically, it's just a series of sending letters back and forth to the bureaus and like disputing stuff, and then just being like, hey, please, bro, please forgive me. And they'll do it. It can take like a year though. It's not like a fast process, because once you send a letter to the creditors, they can take up to 30 days to send a letter back. And it's like literally, it's like a text conversation of like, hey, can you do this? 30 days later, yes, we can do this, but you need this. And it's just ridiculous. If you need a bankruptcy removed, or have someone that needs a bankruptcy removed, send them my way. We can do it for $197 a month. It is an arduous process. Unfortunately, we're not a charity, so we would be charging you for it. But a lot of companies charge like $3,000 up front. So there you go. The other thing, the only thing that matters is my score. We already talked about this. False. Your score is just a number. It's the history that matters. I actually compared it to someone really good this one time. I was like, hey, remember that ex that you had that was like a 10 out of 10 smoke show? They were a 10 out of 10 smoke show on the outside. But when you started dating them and you found out a little bit about, their personality and who they are on the inside, well, they weren't a 10 out of 10 anymore, right? Well, if you have a good score, but a crappy history, the lenders are thinking about the same story. Same thing. Okay, we're moving on here. Sexy credit, sexy life. Okay, what the hell does sexy credit mean, and how does it impact my lending potential? Okay, sexy credit means being in a position to obtain a high score and a lot of money when you go ask for lending. If you meet certain data points on your score, a lot of people, they'll be like, dude, I got a 680. Let's run it. Run me up, Andrew. I want that 100K. It's not how it works. Sometimes I'll do it, bro. If you're hounding me, if we're texting and you're hounding me about running your credit when it's not ready, I will do it. I'll be like, hey, but don't say I didn't tell you so, right? I told you so. You're not going to get what you want. They're like, I don't care. Let's try it anyways. So when you meet the banks, when you go on your application, when you're putting in your lending and they're looking at your score, they're looking for specific data points. They're looking, okay, do you have a 680 score? I'm doing this here. Do you have a 680 score? Do you have 5 to 10 accounts? Do you have a good mix? That means credit cards versus loans and HELOCs and mortgages and car loans. Do you have a good mix? Do you have less than 3 new accounts in the last 6 months? Do you pay all your bills on time? Do you have late payments or derogatories? Derogatories are like collections and charge-offs. Do you keep your inquiries low? Okay. Do you keep your inquiries low? What is an inquiry? An inquiry is when you are looking for credit and they do a hard pull. There's a hard pull and a soft pull. Soft pull doesn't give you an inquiry. Hard pull does. Hard pull will show up on your credit report. This is all basic. We all know this, right? If you keep your inquiries low, no, we're going back. And you keep utilization under 20% on all your cards. I say 20% here because, and you'll hear me if we're texting about it, 30%. 30% is like the maximum. That is the ceiling. Okay. But 20% is like the ceiling fan. Okay. Like you don't really, like, if you keep it under 20%, your results are going to be way better. Under 30%, that works. That works for me. So, like I said, if the banks are like, okay, does he meet these data points? Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Yes. All right. Let's say, hey, Lakeith, you got all these data points? Yeah. All right. What do you want? The banks are going to kiss your feet. Like, we're giving you anything you want now. Like, you meet this requirements? All right, bet. What do you need? I got you. Like, they are literally the credit dealers at that point. They will give you anything that you want if you meet all the data points to a T. If you don't, they might give you a little bit of what you want. And if you really, really don't, denied, you don't get anything. If you have late payments, denied. Late payments in the last 2 years. Oh yeah, that's another myth I need to add on there. Late payments, they only really affect your score unless you have a crap ton for the last 24 months. If your lates are past 24 months, you're good. Unless there's like 5 or 10, anything if it's like 1 or 2, 30 days, 60 days, you're good. So yeah, that's Sexy Credit. This makes up a Sexy Credit score. Take a picture of it if you want. Go for it. I'll send you a PDF if you didn't get a picture. The PDF is better, actually. So I'll send you the PDF. Just hit me up if you want it. All right, the process. Here's how you actually use your Sexy Credit to get money. This is what we all want to know. Okay. Step 1, get your credit looking sexy, 680 plus. 680 plus will qualify for you for lots of stuff if you have good history. Start an LLC. Step 2, start an LLC and get your EIN number. Okay. Use a virtual address because a virtual address proves that you're not using your home address as your business address. It just makes you look more legit. They're like, okay, this guy's not like, working out of his freaking closet. He's legit. All right. Be aware of your business name and industry. This is very important. Okay, so let's say your name is like I Shoot Guns LLC, or I sell houses and make money LLC, or I'm trading on the markets LLC. But let me be real. Let's say it's let's say you're saying Golden Investments or Golden Properties or Golden Acres or Golden Real Estate. Okay. Those insinuate the fact that you're going to be doing real estate. You're going to be doing trading. The gun thing, they don't like gun industry. They don't like food industry. So you want to keep your business name inconspicuous as possible. If it's a food business and you're like, I got Bob's Burgers LLC, right? But you can name your restaurant Bob's Burgers, but keep your business name Bob's Ventures or Bob's LLC, like Bob's, Bob's business, like just something boring, right? Like don't make it anything crazy. Don't make it anything that actually tells you, or Bob's Consulting, Bob's Marketing. Those are good things to have. So anything that has like something about trading, investments, food, trucking is not a good one, but like you can still get away with it, but it's just not the best. Guns, anything like that in the name, not good, because here's what actually matters. When you go to the bank, Can you change your LLC? Yeah, yes, you can, but also it's honestly, it can be easier and faster to just get a new LLC. But if you've got tons of history on there and you've been making bank, what it's called is it's called making an amendment. So I would talk to the person that helped you make your LLC and ask them if you can amend your LLC. You can change the name, you can change, the operating agreement, you can change stuff. It's just called amending it. So yeah. When you go to the bank, they're going to ask you, hey, so what are you doing to make money? What's going to be the reason for this bank account? That is the moment where you need to kind of put on your poker face and be like, I do consulting. I do marketing consulting and or e-commerce. You can lie. Okay. You got to lie to them for your advantage. I'm not out here telling you to do bad things. It's not like Santa's going to give you less presents or anything. Actually, Santa's is going to be a fat Christmas because you're going to have $100,000 to spend if you do this right? You go to the bank. If you tell them what you tell them that you're doing, that's the moment that it matters, because that's when they assign what your industry is. So like, let's say you're opening up your Chase account. Okay. If you tell Chase, I'm doing marketing consulting, the NAICS code is what's going to show, identify what your industry is, but it could be different at Bank of America. You'd be like, at Bank of America, I'm doing trucking, and they'll give you a different NAICS code. Okay. NAICS code. You can write that down. It's not as important. Okay. It's not that important. But just know that when you go to the bank and what you tell them, that's what's giving your business the industry. Okay. So I might ask you, what are your bank accounts and what did you tell them you're doing? That's the reason why I'm asking. If you told them, hey, I'm going to be selling guns and sporting goods. Oh man. Okay. Can you get a new bank account? Can you start a new LLC? It's that serious. It's that serious. Let's say you got a marketing LLC. You get $100,000 on that marketing LLC. But if it was the same business, but you told them you were doing, freaking food industry, you get 10% of that. You get 10,000 now. Sorry, we don't trust you. Like, food industry after COVID sucks. They got tanked. Food industry all got tanked. They all closed down. So now they're paranoid. That's the whole industry thing. All right. Get business checking accounts with big banks and establish your relationships to increase bankability. All right. Bankability scores are a real thing. They have an internal score in all the banks. Okay. That show them how much they trust you over time, whether it's a personal or business account. Okay. You want to get these bank accounts. You want to open up business checking accounts with big banks to start creating relationships with people that are generous. Okay. It's just like if you were going to, try to get something from a millionaire, you want to start doing him some extra favors, right? Well, if we all know how banks make money, right? Yeah. There's two ways. They give out money, tack on interest, get the money back. Then the other way is you put money into a bank account, they take your money and they trade it in the stock market. And that's how they make money. So if you make a bank account, start it, put some money in there, I'm like, oh dang, Jeremy is we like Jeremy. He's giving us money. He's making it so that we can make money off of him. Bet. And that's how you start a relationship with a bank. Any bank that you want to go to for credit or loans or whatever, go there, open a checking account, minimum of $500. $500 in there, $500 to $1,000. But a basic rule of thumb is the more the better. I had somebody the other day put $40,000 into their Chase checking account, and they got a $70K credit card right off the bat. Immediately approved for $70K on one card. I've never seen that in my life, but that's because I've never seen someone able to put $40K into an account. And I realized I'm dealing with a real baller. So I was like, dang, dude, that's amazing. Congratulations. So the more money you can put in there, the better. The good banks to do that with: Chase, Bank of America, Navy Fed, Citizens. That's what I'll give you here. So, okay. Step 4, once you have those bank accounts and you've established your relationship by creating a deposit, putting some money in there, letting it sit, you want to let the money literally season the money in the bank account, sits there for like a week. The best thing to do is put the money in there and don't take it out, and add like $100 a month. And just like, basically it shows them that you have money going in, but not going out. And they love that. That's another kiss your feet moment for the banks. Okay. So apply after you've created this relationship, apply for 0% interest business credit cards. Okay. You can ask them, hey, what are your 0% interest credit offers? Oh, well, we've got this, this, and this. Okay. Thanks. And then you go online, you type in your information, boop, boop, boop. All right, bet. You just got yourself a business credit card at 0% interest, usually 9 to 24 months is the range on that. I've been seeing more people at 9 and 8 through 18, not so much the 24-month range. But yeah, 9 is the lowest, 12 is the most common, 18 and 24 is the highest. Once you get that card, immediately call them. Immediately be like, hey, so I just got this card, man. I just got this card, and this is not what I was expecting. You know, I'm growing really fast. And you're literally telling this to them on the phone. Speak to a human, call them. They're like, hey, so, you know, I just got this card. I got it for 10K, but 10K is nothing near what I actually need to grow my business. You know, I'm growing extremely fast, and I've got people to put food on the table for. This is not going to work for me. You know, I'm trying to buy equipment. You know, we've got things to do, moves to make. And if you don't give me more right now, I just don't think it makes sense for me to accept this offer. And be like, oh shit, he's really putting the pressure on. Okay. And then they're going to be like, all right. And then you can be like, can I get a 3x increase? That's a real thing. Specific. I want a 3x increase of this limit. Boom. 30,000. They're or like 40,000. They turn your 10K into 30K just like that for putting the pressure on. Seriously, it's a game, and if you know how to play it, you will win. Increase your chances of winning, people. Put it on the pressure to these banks. Tell them what you want. All right. After that, call into the bureaus. This is a free piece of the service. If you're one of my clients right now, free information. Tell me you want it. If you want it, call to remove your inquiries. Okay. I'm going to send you this DIY inquiry removal guide. Do it yourself. You call the bureaus, TransUnion, Experian, Equifax. You tell them, hey, I don't know where this inquiry came from. Now, technically, I'm not telling you to commit fraud, but this is technically fraud. Okay. But you can do it, and you won't get in trouble for it. They will just add your inquiry back on. You're not going to jail if you do this, but like, I'm just going to be completely transparent with you. You know, you can do this, and I do it all the time. So basically, you call them, you say, hey, you know, I just got this inquiry on my credit, but I don't see an account reporting for it anywhere, because your business accounts, remember, they don't report to your personal. So if you got denied on your personal, or you got approved on your business, you can remove those inquiries. So you can be like, oh, I just got this business card and they dinged my credit. What the heck? Or I just got this, I just applied for this credit card on my personal, but I got denied. That sucks. But they still give me an inquiry. That sucks. Call them and be like, yo, I don't know where this came from, homie. I need you to remove this right now. Because of the FCRA, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, it is illegal for you to not remove this if I don't know where it came from. And then you just do that process over and over again. A lot of times they might give you some flack. They're like, dude, 10 people a day are calling me about this. Shut up. You have to call another. Yep. Okay. If that person doesn't do it, hang up, call again. If that person doesn't do it, hang up, call again. If the people at TransUnion, they've got policies or something, man, because they do not want to do this. Okay. You got to call them like 10 times just to remove one inquiry. It's a long process, but it's worth it. They want you to put in police reports. They want you to put in things like file a claim, and we're going to do our investigation. Hang up, call again. Hang up, call again. If they say that BS, that's not even true. Like, if you get someone that's having a good day, they're like, oh, sure, I feel like it. Done. And it's just done. Like, you don't actually have to go through all that stuff. So once that's done, you've removed your inquiries. You're clean. It doesn't even look like you just went through all this long process of getting credit. And repeat the process. Make sure your credit's looking sexy. Make another LLC. Make another EIN. Do the same process over and over again. Rinse and repeat. You could do this multiple times a year, and you can like stack it up, man. I'm telling you, you can stack it up. Okay. We've got people right now. I'm helping someone go through their third round of doing this, and they're at 500,000. They're already at 500,000. Okay. 6 months of doing this, but they're good. They're savvy. They know about their stuff, and I'm just helping them get the relationships that they want. They already know how to do all this stuff on their own. They don't really need my help that much. They just want me to get them the connect for the banks and the relationships with the relationship managers, people at Chase and Bank of America. Telling you, 500,000, 6 months. What would you do? Seriously. So let's move on. Creating cash flow. So like I said in the beginning, you want to make sure that instead of using your credit, like if you got a 500,000, would it ruin your life or change your life? Would it ruin your life or change your life? Would you use that to go buy a next car, buy a boat, you're like, dude, I just got a 500,000. Let's go on vacation. Let's go to Dubai. That's going to be a fat check, homie. So yeah, you want to make sure that you're using all of your credit to make more money. Okay. Leverage your new money to make new money. Okay. There's a lot of things you can do. All right. The most obvious way would be to grow business and make money by scaling your business or service or product. But there's a lot of potential for passive income as well. Passive income to leverage your credit in: real estate, multifamily homes, stuff like that. Trading. Okay. You can liquidate your credit into cash and buy crypto. How do you do that? Well, we can help you. We actually have a liquidation service for 5%. We'll have, it's a 5% fee for whatever you liquidate. The reason why there's a fee is because it costs us money to liquidate your cards. Okay. If you go to the bank and ask them to liquidate, 15%. Have fun, and then you're 0%. It's a 0% interest, and there's a fee. So it's like if you had a 0% interest card, whatever you liquidated is now at 15% interest. That sucks. You don't need to do that. You can come to us and we'll help you. You can trade with this money. You can get $100,000. You can trade with that money. That is extremely risky. I'm not saying I recommend it, but I've seen people become very successful by doing exactly that. Exactly that. Okay. Because they know what they're doing. White label opportunities. Well, there's a couple things that you can do. White labeling is when you're buying the rights to operate with another company's services or another company's product, and they do the work for you. So actually ImproveU has an offer like this, where basically you can buy your own funding company. We'll fulfill all the funding orders. We'll do everything like that, but you get the profits. Okay. It's a split. It's a 40-60 split. Let's say you bring me somebody that gets $100,000. Okay. Now you would get $4,000 just for bringing them to the biz. All right. $30,000 to start this business opportunity. You're buying a business in a box. You can brand it however you want. You could do your own marketing, or we can do the marketing for an extra cost every single month. But this is a tremendous opportunity. I'm actually going to be doing it myself, so I can leverage that a little bit more and make more money, right? E-commerce automation and other automated businesses. Okay. There's a lot of different companies that do e-commerce automation. E-commerce is just selling things online. A lot of people will do it for you, and just like for an upfront cost of like 50,000 or something, or 30,000. I'm connected to people that can hook you up for 50,000 for one offer, and then they have another offer for 100,000. So if you wanted to buy 2 different stores, boom, 50,000, 50,000. Now you're making 10, 20K a month on average. The other thing says other automated businesses. There's a lot of different automated things. YouTube automation. There's even like OnlyFans automation right now, which I think is hilarious. If you don't know what OnlyFans is, maybe don't look it up. But OnlyFans automation is a real thing right now. You can invest into OnlyFans. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen, but it's real. Lots of different things that you can do. Okay. Last thing that I could think of that I think would be advantageous would be business acquisition, where you can buy people's businesses that are already set up, already cash flowing, already doing stuff. Yes, Lakeith, OnlyFans automation is real, but you can buy people's businesses that are already growing and everything like that. And you basically become the owner of it when it has, like, let's say you buy like a marketing company. There's already a CEO, but you're the owner now. You're the owner, but there's a CEO, chief executive officer, the operations guy. So you don't have to actually do anything if you don't want to. They're going to continue to do their business, but you just own this company and you get the revenue. Some lady just came to me. She was asking for $200,000 to buy a business that was going to make her $800,000 a year. Did I think it was a little fake? A little bit. That sounds pretty good, but she didn't know enough information for me to like get excited. Okay. So, but this is something you can do. Go buy a McDonald's, go buy a Jamba Juice, go buy, I'm saying like you can buy franchises, you can buy little restaurants and stuff. You can buy like a FedEx or something, make the revenue from that, buy it in a good area, going to Hollywood Hills, right? Like you can buy businesses that are already operating and with this credit. Okay. Hacks, man. You don't need to use your own money to get rich. I'm telling you, I've been saying it. Let's go. All right. Get funding the easy way, right? Sure, you can do all this yourself. However, we have the banking relationships to get you the results. Okay. Here's the thing. The difference between you going by yourself versus doing it with someone who knows what they're doing, such as myself and my company, it can be huge. Because if you mess up one of these things, if you don't actually know what you're doing or looking at, you could have just came to us and gotten the 100K, but instead you got something messed up and now you got 20K. The opportunity cost is huge. Okay. An $80,000 difference. So, and also like, we're going to be able to leverage our relationships. Basically what that means, like, I'm not just like flashing fancy words at you. Essentially, we've gone into banks and said, hey, is this based off your personal credit? If you're talking about getting funded. So business credit takes a while. I'll go on this tangent for a little bit. Business credit takes a while to actually build up. It's the same as personal credit. Like there's a different scoring system, but it's like you have to have business cards already. So if it's going to be your first time getting funded through a business, you have to use your personal credit. People talk about no PG loans. PG means personal guarantee, which is going off of your personal credit. People talk about no PG funding. We got no PG loans. They're just trying to get you excited. Okay. I'm not going to do that to you because like, it's not really that easy to do. It takes a lot of time. You can like, it takes money, you got to spend money to make money. That's one of the situations where you would have to do that because you have to like spend the credit that you get and get loans and stuff and pay it off in years. We're talking, if you want to actually do stuff that has, so I'll tell you what you need to do if you don't want to use your personal credit. 3 years of business history, 2 to 3 years, $10,000 a month for the last 3 months. We'll talk about this later, Kia. Just text me and we'll talk about it. But yeah, so our criteria basically is this. Like I was saying, the business banking relationships. Okay, we've gone into banks, talked to people high up in the banks, shown them that we can bring them the heat, we can bring them more customers, and they're like, you know what, we want to work with you. We'll try it out. And over the years, we have been able to like cultivate these relationships of bringing them more customers and making money for them, therefore making money for us and everyone involved in the situation. So yeah, we're just able to get you more because instead of you going to the bank at Chase and Bank of America and talking to a banker and then having to wait hella long, I mean, you still have to wait for our process. But instead of that, if you get approved, you just go straight to the underwriters. Like you're talking to somebody on a Zoom call and they're asking you, hey, what's your numbers for this year? Instead of putting it in an application, way more of like a solid process. They're like, okay, cool. We're going to send this to the underwriters and they're going to write it up for you, or you might get denied still. You can get denied, but the chances of that happening much lower because a human's going to be looking at it and they are more tipped on the side of like, this guy came from Improve You. They're one of the partners. Let's give them a bone, throw them a couple bones here and they'll do that. So, but if you have crappy stuff, they're not going to do it. Our criteria, same stuff as before, really. 680. This is a little bit more specific. 680 score, 650 for non-0%, 5 accounts minimum, under 30% on all your cards, no late payments in the last 2 years, no collections or derogatories or charge-offs, account age at least 5 years, account average age, no more than 3 inquiries in the last 6 months, at least $1,500 in total limits, which is weak sauce, honestly. But like, if what you want to have is 10K, 20K, 30K, you want to have 5 figures. 15K is like the lowest of the low. If these are not met, then we will help you get there. And if you have bad credit, then there is credit repair, and we're performance based. So there's no upfront charge for this. We just, based off of how much we're able to get you, that's how we get paid. So the whole thing about how we're going to help you get there is like, we'll just help you get your credit up. We'll help you, get your credit repaired if that's what you need as well. So yeah, with the performance-based thing, we do a 10% success fee. So if you end up becoming successful with your funding, which you probably will if you're working with us, we don't run people unless we think they're going to get funded. Then we would charge you 10% of whatever that is, whatever you get funded for. So if you get 50,000, we're charging you, we're going to send you an invoice for 5,000. There you go. So conclusion, working with me is an educational journey, not just a transactional relationship. I try my best. Some people do not want to talk that much, and so it ends up becoming that. But if you want to call me and you want to talk about it, I'm going to end up telling you a lot of saucy things about credit and funding that you would have not otherwise learned. And I love teaching. So if you hop on a call with me and I end up going on some tangents, I hope you have your pen and your paper out, because I might be dropping some bombs on you. So, and then also, do you know anybody who could benefit from funding? Because if you do, like maybe you're not ready or you are ready, but you also know somebody who could get funding. Well, we have a referral system. We do like to reward people for bringing us business, and we will give you 1% of whatever they get for funding. So if they get 100,000, you get $1,000 just for sending them to me. It's not like an instant thing. It could be like a month till they get the money, but like, there you go. Great way to create passive income. Just, you can even like, we take this seriously. We try to tell people to turn the affiliate program into a whole business, and like start posting stuff on Instagram and getting people attracted. But you don't have to do that. You can just do it for your friends and family. It's not even like, we literally just want to tell people, it's just like, hey, if you bring us a customer, we're going to give you some money for it. Okay, FAQ, does my business need to be making money? No, it does not. We can help a business that was started yesterday. Can I secure business funding without a business? Yes, but not as much. You can secure personal funding. What if I have bad credit? We do credit repair for $197 a month. We'll get you going in 3 to 6 months. What's my time frame? Once you're ready, once you're positioned for success with funding, it takes let's just be real, 30 to 45 days to be done, like completely done. You'll get money in between there, but like if we're doing the whole process, 30 to 45 days. Will my personal score be used for funding? Absolutely. Most people are not in the position for business credit. So, it's called PG, personal guarantee. The banks know that when they're funding a business, the person that they're actually funding is the business owner. So they're going to look at your personal history. They're going to see, hey, what's this guy done in the past? How has he been with borrowing money? And do we trust him to borrow more money for a business, right? So yes, your personal credit will be used when you run for funding. Okay, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. If you got questions, now is the time. I'll allow you to come off of mute. And there you go. You can come off mute if you have a question. Let's talk about it. Or you can go in the chat too. If you don't have any questions, that's all good. We can talk about your questions. A lot of you have my number. So, if you want to text me about what we talked about tonight or call me about it, let's talk about it. All right. Last call. Questions. Anybody? All right. Okay, guys. Oh, that's it. That was the Leverage Your Credit for Success webinar. I hope you learned something valuable tonight, because after all, this is not free. It does cost your time and attention, which is your most valuable asset. My name is Andrew Golden. This is the Leverage Your Credit for Success webinar, and I will see you all